Never sell this stock and be a millionaire. In this video, we will talk about how major Tesla investor billionaire Ron Barron made billions from this company. We will hear the reasons why Tesla is nowhere near its end and why he's seeing potential doubling still to come. Because he invests heavily in Tesla, Ron Barron has outperformed the market. Tesla stocks has surpassed $1,000 a share, which is remarkable, given that he owns nearly 6 million Tesla shares. Tesla is valued at about $6.1 billion, while Ron's cost average is $42.88. That is a remarkable gain. Barron started investing in Tesla in 2014, which was a normal type of investment but a very long-term investment, 7 to 8 years so far. He said he will probably be an investor for another 10 years at least, and same with SpaceX. According to Ron, they now have $58.9 billion of assets under management, and they made $54 billion of profits for their clients. That $54 billion of profits includes about $6 billion from Tesla, from a $380 million investment 7 or 8 years ago. But it wasn't all smooth sailing, according to Barron. When he was continuing to grow, the stock price fluctuated a lot in the first few years. Since they weren't particularly profitable, it was exceedingly difficult to achieve. In the 1950s, there were around 54 automobile businesses, all of which failed. Ron said when he first met Elon Musk 10 years ago, he was doubtful about his ability to succeed. It was only after they began building the Model S that they realized this. Ron went on to say that they started buying shares and that it took them 2 years to make that investment. They went to see him and chatted with him on a frequent basis before making the investment. They most likely watch it for 4 or 5 years before deciding to invest. Even Elon's friends warned him not to invest in Tesla, according to Barron. They thought that Elon wasn't focused on making profits. However, according to Barron, they invest in firms that are investing in themselves. That is, businesses who are punishing present earnings in order to build much larger enterprises. That's what Elon Musk was doing, and so he was able to show the profits that he was earning. He was reinvesting to build new factories, to start new models, to do research, to build new batteries, and to start all these other businesses. Because of that, there was greatly volatility in the profitability of his business. Ron Barron said, Elon now has a factory in Fremont, one in Reno, one is going to open in Austin soon, and he just opened one in China. Tesla and SpaceX wouldn't be the same without Elon Musk. Barron said the biggest risk they have so far is Elon's health, because he works incredibly hard. He sleeps 5 hours a day, and he works 19 hours a day. What he's doing, according to Ron, is unbelievable, and he's hopeful Elon stays healthy for a real long time. Elon Musk has big plans. He said he wants to die on Mars, not landing on Mars, but after living there. Currently, when you look up in these surveys, the most popular place to get a job is in Tesla and SpaceX. Barron said, once you read the Tesla Impact Report from 2020, there's not any way you're even going to sell it. The first 30 or 40 pages are on the company's potential and opportunities, followed by 30 pages about ESG and how they treat people. If it weren't for Elon Musk, electric automobiles would not exist. In fact, if it weren't for Elon, you probably wouldn't be as interested in space as you are today. Ron Barron believes Elon Musk is dedicating himself to making the planet and humanity able to survive. He said, people would always ask him, how can you stand up against large automobile companies? How come they can't do this? And why can't they do what Elon has done? The answer, according to Barron, is pretty simple. Herbert Days, the chairman of Volkswagen, convened a meeting of 200 Volkswagen officials, and he said that he invited a special guest to speak to his 200 executives, and that the special guest was Elon Musk. Herbert Days invited Elon to meet the Volkswagen officials. Why? Because he said that he was attempting to shift his company's focus from internal combustion engines to electric vehicles. Elon Musk, he claims, is the hardest and toughest competitor. So they must learn from him.
Hey, Ron, less of an investing question and maybe more of a policy question, but hoping you'd weigh in. You've obviously had an enormous amount of success, and we often call you a billionaire investor. What do you think of this new tax plan that could tax unrealized gains? I don't know if you would be one of the 700 or not, but Elon Musk surely would be.
It feels like Congress thinks that they're Robin Hood from the old days, and it feels like the Elon Musk tax bill, where there's like big billionaires and there's little billionaires. So he's a big billionaire, and so I don't really understand why there's vindictiveness against someone who works the way he has and doesn't make any money unless the shareholders in his business do well and the people who are benefiting from what he does. But they have a meeting at the White House for companies that are advancing EVs, electric vehicles, and they invite Ford and General Motors and Chrysler and the UAW, and they say thank you very much for all you've done to advance EVs, and they don't invite Tesla. Is that crazy? And then they send into space further with civilian astronauts further than anyone has ever gone before, and Musk saves the government billions and billions of dollars for defense, and they're about to have you want to have a more level distribution of wealth. The only way you're going to do that is you educate people. So you have satellite broadband, and that's what he's going to do. Going to make it so broadband's available to people who live in the mountains, live in Vail, live in East Hampton. Broadband's not so good, and so he's going to make it available. And yet, when we have this incredible feat, where it's a science expedition. So to go to space, the edge of space, 60 miles, and return, that's okay, it's good. But to go into orbit is probably 1,000 times harder. And to try to land what you have taken from orbit to Earth, that's probably 100,000 times harder. And so you get a lot of publicity about the people, Captain Kirk, going to 60 miles up, and he goes 360 miles and stays there for 3 days and does great experiments. Not a phone call. How come?
On the issue of a new tax plan that could tax unrealized gains, which will affect Elon Musk, Ron Barron said that he doesn't really understand why there's vindictiveness against someone who doesn't make any money unless the shareholders and the business do well, and the people who are benefiting from what he does. Barron said Congress thinks that they're Robin Hood from the old days. He also mentioned that during a meeting at the White House, the government thanked Ford, General Motors, Chrysler, and the UAW about advancing electric vehicles, but they did not even invite Tesla. And then they send into space with civilian astronauts more than anyone has ever gone before. Musk saves the government billions and billions of dollars for defense. Elon Musk is also going to make broadband available to people who live in the mountains, like in Vail and in East Hampton. Ron Barron feels that the efforts and hard work being done by Elon are not being appreciated by the government. He said to go to the edge of the space, 60 miles and return, is okay. But to go into orbit, it's probably 1,000 times harder. And to try to land what you have taken from orbit to Earth, that's probably 100,000 times harder. And how did the White House thank Elon Musk for this? Never did. Not a phone call.